Hi you guys, welcome back to the channel. I got something I want to show you guys today. So a lot of the builds I typically see for loud death sentence or one down builds are a lot of builds that highly showcase akimbo SMGs or LMGs, maybe even like akimbo shotguns, really high performing damaging builds. But if you're like me, one of my favorite weapon types in the game is assault rifles, and they haven't really been shown a lot of love lately, mainly because, with the hordes upon hordes of enemies that you have to deal with on death sentence, it just kind of makes sense to bring something like an LMG or something that can just mow through them quickly. But you don't really get a lot of versatility that way. Usually you're speccing your build to being, I'm going to focus on long range, close range. It can't really do everything, and that's where this build today comes in. What I wanted to start this build off with is just something that isn't really used. So the Lion's War rifle, after its recent buffs, has been seen as the best assault rifle in the game. And I kind of disagree with that notion. I think they have some clear alternatives you can also use, and that's what we're going to be using today. So let's get right into it. So what we have today is a build that is an assault rifle SMG, but it's an assault rifle you actually probably wouldn't guess. So the main primary we're using today is the Falcon rifle. This is something that's been in the game for a long time, and I used to use it a lot. And with the recent weapon mods from the McShay Weapon Pack 4 and onwards, it actually can get pretty nice. So if you look here in the bottom left, we have the Falcon rifle producing 100 accuracy, 100 stability, and over 100 damage. And if you look at my detection risk, we're under 25. So I can bet you know where this is going with, how this build is shaped to be with crits and dodge. But there's actually variants to this build that I made that, you can choose whatever you're most comfortable with for your playstyle. So what's really funny about this Falcon rifle is that you can replicate it, of course, with other weapons. Like, for instance, if we go to the AK-17, right? We can easily get a slightly more concealed weapon with 100 accuracy, 100 stability, and even one more damage, right? It has a bigger magazine, it has a little bit more ammo. The only downside really is the rate of fire, right? Which, isn't really that bad of a con. This is totally an okay weapon to use on this version. And I'll showcase this off in the build as well if you want to build your AK-17 this way and use this rather than the Falcon rifle. But the reason why the Falcon rifle is because of one of the skills. So we'll go over the skills and everything together, but the main thing I noticed when making this was lock and load ace. Lock and load ace was never really a skill I focused too much on. Just with the addition of speed pole mags and everything like that, I don't really need to spend 6 points on having quicker reloads. But the thing is, with lock and load ace, the text reads that any, bullets above the mag size of 20 reduce this reload speed that you get. And it's a 100% increase, so a double reload, a double speed reload even, right? So if we look at the base of a Falcon rifle, it has 20 bullets, right? Now it's using 35 simply from, surefire basic, 15 more bullets. And if you read, it doesn't affect the ace version of lock and load aced. So we're still getting the 100% reload increase. So even though we don't have a speed pole mag on, we pretty much do. It's cutting the, reload speed in half essentially with 35 bullets. So let's get into how this is shaped out. I'm using the CQB foregrip for extra concealment. The newer, towards the back here, Raimi suppressor from McShay Weapon Pack 4. This is pretty good for getting accuracy and stability as well as a suppressor. We're not using a concealment boost because the way I had to modify this Falcon rifle, it is perfectly sitting at 100 for accuracy and stability. There's no overflow anywhere, right? Like, it has to be these exact mods or you can't reach the stats with the concealment, right? So accuracy boost, we don't use any auto fire or single fire custom. A LED combo for stability. We're going to use the tactical grip. There's no cons to this at all. In fact, it increases the concealment, which is great. We do not use the magazine. It does give you 20 bullets here, but we would again lose concealment and accuracy. We'll get to the secondary sight in a moment here. The sight has to be the new, I should say, biometric analyzer sight. This is one of the ones that actually adds accuracy to your stats rather than stability, right? Then back to the secondary sights. This has no con. You can use, any magnifier or even just like a extra angled sight if you want. I find that kind of pointless. I like the magnifier in case there's a longer sight range and there's like a sniper far off or something. So that's why we have this guy. Now, when you modify the weapon this way, you're still not going to reach the 100 stats until you delve into the skills, which are pretty important here. So we'll go into our skills. We need to get our skill set this way with the Professional aced, Optical Illusions aced, Steady Grip aced, and Stable Shot Basic. This is also important. If you remove Stable Shot, it needs its 8 stability, right? It doesn't reach it. So it is important to have every single stability and accuracy stat except for, Stable Shot ace, because we want to just like base. We don't want to have to stand still. We want to be able to move and hit any target that we need to, right? While we're shooting. So those are the important skills. Now for a secondary, you could have easily picked something like a 5.7, right, to deal with shields, and that's a totally valid option. That's an easily concealable weapon. You can use it as a versatile tool, right? I didn't really use that. I wanted to sway away from the norms that I see in the meta. So I went with a Tatanka or a Bison SMG, and this is also because this can reach 104 damage, just like our primary. So we're outputting the same DPS no matter which gun we're using. However, the SMG you definitely want to just use in close range encounters. This one's not reaching 100 stability, plus it has an optimal range, so it has a fall off if you're shooting from too far away. So use the SMG as a secondary in the closer encounters, and then for all around use, especially for longer range, use your primary here. Hey there, slightly future me here. I wanted to add the sectioning because I realized I forgot to showcase the modifications for the Tatanka SMG secondary. So we're going to insert this part right here. We're going to be using another Ramie suppressor in the back here. We're going to use a concealment boost on this weapon alone just so we can easily reach that 23 detection risk. We don't use a custom. We're using the stealth laser module just to get a little bit extra accuracy here. We're using the AK rubber grip for concealment and stability. I'm not putting on a magnifier. You can if you really would like to. It's not really necessary. You'll go into overflow for stability. And I don't really use this weapon for long range sight lines just because it's the SMG portion. It's not really meant for that. Use the assault rifle for long range. It has another biometric analyzer for extra accuracy, and then the stock is the only option here. It is the Tactica telescopic stock for extra concealment, some extra accuracy. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I will also have another future me in a little bit to go over the weapon attachments for the AK-17 rifle as well, but I'll talk to you guys then. Now, with the way that we have this build, here are all the stats or skills that you could use, right? Here we go. The way I have this set up, I wanted it to be a dodge deck with health regen, and the really best perk deck in the game for getting dodge and health regen is Hacker, of course. It's just so good, right? Having a utility that is just stunning enemies, getting healed on kills from said stunned enemies, and gaining more dodge is fantastic, right? Now, in all the gameplay you'll be seeing for this build, I think we use one bot. There's no bot boost being used at all. So like the reload speeds, the health regen, the armor, the everything, right? That is the base build if you're playing with like a team of 4, essentially, right? The bot's just a bot. It's not giving me any boosts or anything. If you are a player that uses bots, you can make this build even stronger is what I'm getting at, right? So don't worry about that. The dodge chance being incredibly high for Hacker is great. This version of the build really performs well. It's my favorite version of it, right? This is the one I like the most, just for having really a quick way to heal yourself, as well as being able to get out of a sticky situation by just, oh, I'm surrounded by enemies. I press the button for my throwable key, and enemies around me are getting stunned. I can move out of the way. I could heal by killing them. You know, it has so much utility, which is why this was my favorite version. Now, what I want to show off afterwards, this will also be in the gameplay segment of the video, is the next version I made, which doesn't use the dodge aspect to it. Now, it is still going to be using crits and everything. This, I think, is a modified version of another build I've already seen before. But I really like this one too, because I would use this version if you are more, instead of like a highly movement heist, like let's say, you know, if Heat Street and Greenbridge, you know, you have to be moving back and forth in open sightlines a lot, I would use the hacker version. But if I was on something like No Mercy, which is what you'll see in the gameplay footage for this build version, where it's more close corridors, I'm not moving too much, we're hunkering down for a long while, we use this one. So we're using the exact same Falcon rifle and SMG, but here are the different skills attributes. So it actually uses Inspire and First Aid kits, which is very nice. We have one Joker that's giving us Partners in Crimes Ace, and we'll get to that, why this is important here in just a second. And then we have, you know, typical Bullseye for armor gating, body expertise. You know, we have the exact same stats here for crits. We have Unseen Strike to just maximize the DPS. I wish we could afford a few extra points in here to get high value target ace, just so you don't have to actually yell at enemies for this damage buff. I mean, basic is still pretty damn nice, don't get me wrong. But it would be even better if, you know, you see someone out in the distance, you just aim at them, they're taking even more damage, right? But what's important with this version is that don't forget the high value target. If you see a special, mark it, right? Shout at them, mark them, they'll take more damage, right? It's very important. You don't necessarily have to, but it does save you ammo, of course, if they're dying quicker, you're using less ammo to kill enemies, right? And then, of course, we have 9 lives ace for 1 down. We're using Copycat this time, and we're still actually just using a suit. But again, it's not dodge. If you look, we only have 5 dodge. So if you're thinking, how the heck are you doing, you know, death sentence difficulty with a suit and no dodge, it's because of our HP. So we're using Copycat with the 4 card selections here, all on set on health to give us more health. And we're using the last card to copy the Biker perk deck. This is actually, it's pretty funny how, in my opinion, I think Biker is better in Copycat than it is on its own. Mainly for its ability to armor gate and regen HP. And it doesn't have to be you. If you need to back off to do an objective, go use an ammo bag, revive a teammate, whatever. If somebody else in the crew is getting kills, you're still healing. Now, it will be slow. I will say this isn't something crazy quick where, you know, you have like, you know, hostage taker or muscle and you're getting that passive HP regen. It is a slow HP regen. It's definitely like I'm hunkering down, I'm netting the kills to where my health is slowly coming back up over time, right? So keep that in mind. But with all these cards set to health, and we have to get a Joker for getting an extra 30% more health, it's gonna set our HP pretty damn high, which will allow you to take a good chunk of hits, honestly, on death sentence and 1 down difficulty, which is good. And the thing is too, it's like if I'm getting too low, I have to do something. We can't sit around for too long for my health to slowly come back with me getting kills with the build with Biker. That's where the first aid kits come in. 14 is a crazy amount. If you're playing anything below 1 down, you know, there's a good chance you're not using all of them, right? So you really should be utilizing all your deployables. That's my biggest tip, that when people ask me, hey, what do you recommend I do when I'm trying to play higher difficulties? It's utilize your deployables, right? Don't spec the build into something that's like, oh, this is the most ammo efficient thing, or I have health regen, so I don't have to worry about, you know, putting down my doctor bags. Have that for the team, you know? Use your first aid kits for teammates that need it. Use them for you when you need it. Rely on them. And spread them out so, of course, you know, you're not running out like halfway through the heist, but just be smart about them. Like, deployables are an insanely valuable resource in the game. and I don't see people really utilizing them enough. So just keep an eye out for that as well. So yeah, those are the two versions I'm using here. You can also, I had a version I was making to where it was not relying on low blow for crits. It had 75 detection risk and everything. I changed the SMG to the CR805B. This is the biker DLC SMG. And this is also reaching the 104 damage with 100, 100 and everything, right? Which is very nice. It does have that damage fall off because it is an SMG. But if you're not worried about crits, you can use this. And in this version, if you want to copy this one and maybe tweak it, this one is not like a finished product in my opinion. But it was basically trying to do a anarchist frenzy with berserkers. So you're doing even more damage essentially, right? You know, with your DPS output. Anarchist is super nice just with armor gating and everything. I just never really liked the idea of it too terribly much, with always being just like so low. I always wanted to have like a fail safe, and that's why I kind of leaned more on the biker version, because you know, you're armor gating with biker still. It's not as quick, I believe, as anarchist, since you have the 2-second regen with the suit, then the damaging proc, and then your bullseye proc and everything. There's much more procs in anarchist for armor gating, but in this version you only have the 4 stacks that are on a 4-second cooldown each, right? So it is less procs for armor gating, but I do like it because it has the health aspect to it. So even if like, oh, my armor gate's not here, I can take a few hits and that's okay. I don't want to make it to where if I'm an anarchist on 1 HP and then you know, all my procs are being used and I get hit and I go down, and then I go down, right? I want to be able to have like a little bit of a backup, and that's why I use this version here. So those are the two versions. I'm going to show off some gameplay for it now. Feel free to ask any questions you have about anything, or even maybe some recommendations you would like to put in as well in the comments below. And one thing I want to bring up too, I have a Discord server as well as a new Twitter account for my content. I'm going to have links to both of those in the description below on this video. It would mean a lot if you gave me a follow, maybe even joined our server, got involved with the community. And yeah, I hope to see you guys real soon with some more Payday content. Take care, you guys. Alright, and one more time, just showcasing the AK-17 rifle. If you prefer to use this weapon as the primary instead of the Falcon, here's how I modify this guy. We're again using a Raimi suppressor. I really love this suppressor. It's honestly my favorite one right now. We're using an accuracy boost. We're using auto fire for the custom. Stealth laser module for some extra accuracy. A Verge AK grip for a lot of accuracy, a lot of stability. Speed pull mag for quicker reloads. A magnifier for extra stability. We're again using a biometric analyzer for extra accuracy. And then a Tactica telescopic stock for more accuracy. So if you'd like to use this version, by all means, go right ahead. It is a very good weapon to use as well. I personally decided using the Falcon for whatever reason. It's a little bit better. Personal preference though, either of these will get the job done very well. All right, back to the video.
This way with a little something for you. Hopefully something down there will lead us to the commissary down.
I see a bulldozer!
Just 1 minute more, guys. I got eyes on the drop point already.
Watch out! Bulldozer! You're up. Battle's coming.
Down.
4. Give him hell.
Conquer down!
Wolf is down. They're shifting long-range teams into position.
I'm there in 30 seconds. Be ready.
Bulldozer down!
They sent in an extraction team to free the civilians. Don't give them the chance.
Keep
It's holding a heavy cable. Use it to connect the hatch to the pickup. Start it up, and then crack open that basement. Somebody help Grover up!
Put him up! On your knees! Handcuff yourself!
Why are you doing it? I'll kill you in 100 different ways!
It's an enemy medic! Kill the medic! I need a goddamn
There's
medic!
no advantage of shooting civilians. Stay pro, man.
Get out! The police! It's a motherfucking bulldozer!
Okay, the cops. They just stepped up their efforts. Tougher units incoming. Chopper on the scene, but it ain't the feds. Oh, hell, that was close. Let's get back in the game, fellas. Get to cover.
Let's get back to work!
Russian chopper pulling out. Now, just connect it to the hatch.
30 seconds.
You should remember how to hotwire an engine. Start it up. Is it working? Nice. But damn, that hatch is strong.
They got a medic! Kill the medic! They won't be ready for us.
This is it.
Now let's put some effort into this.
Jacket!
Enemy medic! No more! Follow me! Bulldozer! Bulldozer! Wait. Bulldozer down! Fix me up. Hurry.
Bastards! Bitches! Fucking asshats! I will kill you for this!
Hey, Culver! Come with me. Move it.
Here's the first aid kit!
Oh, shit! Shield!
Yeah, that's the sweet sound of success. Get yourself in the basement and check what's in there.
Oh, fuck!
The cops are freeing civilians right now. Snipers are being brought in, people.
Bulldozer down!
First aid kit!
Sniper, dead! I got it! Major down! Shield down! Drop the gun! Kill the medic! Goddamn bulldozer! Shit! Come on! You look great. Got a shield! Tracer's down! Drop your weapon, drop it! You're falling apart, brother. First aid kit! kit deployed.
Power is back. Great. Now don't stop. Roof is down.
Down.
Hit the elevator button.
I saw you in The Walking Dead. If you go
Put your
down
hands
again,
up.
you're not gonna make it.
Get your hands up, motherfucker. Put on the cuffs. Oh shit, shield.
Back to the plan.
Almost lost it there, but you came through okay. Now get back on your feet. You've got work to do.
Back to what needs doing. Shield down.
I've negotiated a hostage trade. Look around. There should be a hostage somewhere who's marked out. Free that hostage. Great job. Clover's back from custody.
Taken care of.
All right. Lower your weapons.
You got an opportunity to do a hostage trade. Look for the marked out hostage and free them.
Follow me quickly.
Get a war.
Fantastic. Jacket is back in custody. Clover is down.
Here's the first aid kit.
Get your hands up, motherfucker! Anybody got a medic bag?
I've had a bad day. Down on your knees.
Another power loss. Switch it back on.
Oh, fuck.
There you go. Oh, wait. Now I'm getting something about air support. What the hell?
Put your fucking hands up!
Taser down. Smoker's history. Drop the gun. Get on your knees. Put on the cuffs. Stop the shield. Stop the shield. First aid kit here. EMT, we got multiple wounded. Oh shit, taser. Stop the taser.
Clover's in a tight spot.
Come on.
Thanks for that, mate.
First aid kit deployed. Enemy medic, no more. Kill the medic. Got the taser. Taser down. Kill the medic. Get your hands up. On your knees. Now, cuff yourself. Oh shit! Bulldozer! Bulldozer!
I had a contact hide a cooler in the elevator for us. Drop the vials in there. One more sample in the cooler before you can leave.
Kill the medic! Put your motherfucking hands up! Down on your knees! And don't fucking move! Hands up! On your knees! And stay down! Cover now! Taser down! Taser!
Somebody help Wolf!
Get the fuck up! First aid kit here! Bulldozer down! Hey, Atkins!
30 seconds.
20 seconds left.
Kill the medic!
10 seconds to go.
Enemy medic is no more. Gear up. Battle's coming. Hero! Now let's put some effort into this.
Taser down!
Wolf is down.
Coming to you. You hang in there.
Shield eliminated!
Get back in the fight, you big foxy!
Hurry, hurry! Bulldozers down! Down on your
Great, that's enough. Now get in the elevator. You gotta get the hell out of there.
Hurry up!
Get that arc!
Come on, guys. Express elevator. Going up as soon as you push the button. Awesome. Now just sit tight for 34s. That's strange. Merc units are pulling out.